So currently with the April Fool's event, we actually have Diene running, who is a limited unit. She is one of the oldest units in the game. She actually appears in the first 15 minutes of the game's story, and she's actually still pretty good. Now, I'm going to talk about why you guys actually shouldn't pull for her though, even though she's pretty good, and that biggest reason is because we have the Overlord collab coming out within the next week or two. Actually, I do believe it starts in a couple hours after this video is released, if I'm not mistaken. Otherwise, it'd be like tomorrow or the day after. And you definitely are going to want to make sure that you save your bookmarks for the collab. But if you guys have a lot of bookmarks saved up, or you really want this unit, she's actually one of the best units in the game for PvE, besides Tamarin, of course, because of this attack buff on her S3. So actually, when I'm farming through stages like Advent Held Side Story when it's running, or just other stages in general, Diene is very good because she actually does not require any ramp up like Tamarin. Diene just S3s right off the bat, you get that attack buff, critical hit resistance buff, and you also get CR for yourself, which will give you enough turns to actually be able to S2. And your S2 is a 2 debuff dispel, which is very nice, and a barrier that scales with your max health. And you can also CR push with your S1 as well pretty frequently, so pretty strong unit for PvE. In PvP, she's not that good anymore because there's a lot of counters, right? Greenlandy, Rimuru, Alencia, anything that counters a lot of buffs really punish Diene. But if you can pick her later on into the draft, she can be useful. But for the most part, she's mostly going to be a PvE unit for speed clearing stuff, and also for Nightmare Raid as well in some bosses where you want extra cleansing. Now the only downside is she doesn't have any healing built into her kit. She has 2 non-attack skills and no healing, so because of that, you actually need an artifact to actually heal with her. Her own artifact's very good. You'll see it heals all allies after using a non-attack skill. The best artifact for her though is going to be the Rod of Amaryllis, because it just heals for a lot more, and a lot of times you're taking single target damage than AoE damage. So yeah, Diene, even though she's very strong, a lot of you guys might get baited into pulling for her. I would say hold off. Honestly, she's not even that strong. I think I just have a bias towards her. She's honestly not really used that much. You definitely want to skip on her, and even in theory she seems very powerful like I mentioned because of her skills. There's a lot of soul weavers in the game that are just really strong, and power creep has kind of affected her, so you want to skip her and wait for the Overlord collab.